I put 500 million ORBEEZ down a sink to see if it'd clog it up. Okay, maybe it was just 50,000. Anyway, we put enough in there to really mess up a plumbing system. Now in this video, you're gonna get to see what happened just by putting these in and adding a little bit of water. Now it says not to let children under 3 play with these. You shouldn't let men over 30 play with them either. These things can really mess up your plumbing system. But stay to the end because I'm gonna show you what you would do if this was really a problem in your plumbing system and it clogged it up. So stay to the end and check it out and you'll see what to do and how to fix it. Check this out. We've had this going now for almost 4 hours, not quite. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour a little bit more water in here. The reason being, these have actually filled up. They filled up the P-trap. We've actually got about 1 inch or 2 of them in the bottom of the bucket. So they've expanded so much you're going down in there. Now the funny thing is, this almost feels like pasta. It's wet, it's sticky. You know, I want to pour water in because I want to see, is this clogging the drain? Remember, we did a video where a guy had supposedly filled up his bathtub with it, bled it down the drain. It supposedly came up in the toilet in other places. And a lot of people said, look, that was fake. He didn't really do it. Well, maybe, but we thought we just want to try. So as you saw, we poured a whole container, just one, in right here. And then we added water. So now I'm going to add a little more because I really just want to see if it'll come out down here or not. And it doesn't look like it. So remember, I said that this is a lot like pasta. And I say that because I've actually gone on jobs before that whenever we took apart all the P-trap and the drain pipe, literally that's what it was. It was like that sticky pasta stuck to the inside of the pipe all the way down. When you've got it full of water, these aren't real sticky. But as that water goes away, these things really, they stick a lot and they're gonna stick to the inside of the plumbing. Now, I don't see any of that water coming through, but what we're gonna do, this is Friday, we've got a 3-day weekend. We're gonna let this set all weekend and see, does it dry up? Does that water come through? Does it run out? Or what does it do? Now this has actually been pretty fun, but we'll see you next week and figure out how it turns out. So you all know last Friday, we filled these up with ORBEEZ and we added water and you saw how fast they filled and expanded. Now we literally thought if we left this 3 days, they would dry up and shrink back down. But I mean, to be honest, these are still wet. They're still moist. We kept pouring water in because they were getting sticky. They were sticking and expanding and filling up that area. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how I'd clean out the P-trap and the drain if I had any problem like this at home. Okay, let's get started. So as you can see, this is all stopped up. Now, this is what it's gonna look like inside your P-trap. Now, you probably can't see it because you probably got a white tubular P-trap, but this is what it looks like under there. So what we would do is we would take a bucket, stick it down under here because you're gonna have water in here. No matter what you've got in there, it's still gonna be wet, even if everything's absorbed it. Now, there's gonna be some, but with these ORBEEZ, there's not gonna be a whole lot, and we know that. But still, what you'll do is reach under here and loosen your slip joint nuts and do it with a bucket under here because if there's any water, you want it to come out now. It'll come down to the bottom of the P-trap and then drain down in the bucket. Now remember, this will normally be secured back at the wall. So it's gonna stay where it is so that when you lower the P-trap, you can let it fall down in there and you'll get everything out. If this is back at the wall, loosen up your trap adapter so you can go ahead and slide this out too, because you're gonna wanna get everything out of it. Now after you've done this, don't put it up here to rinse it out because you've got an open drain. But once you've got it this far, you can get to where you can clean everything out. Now you probably wouldn't want to do it with your finger, but you may want to take it outside with a high pressure sprayer, hose everything out real good to make sure you get pasta, rice, cabbage, anything in here that may have it clogged up. Same thing on your P-trap. These P-traps over years will develop a sludge in them that'll build up and it will just make stuff stick to it. So clean it out really, really good, or this is a good time to even think about replacing it. Once you do that, all you're gonna do is start taking everything apart. And I'm really interested to see how this comes out because I'm wondering if the ORBEEZ were able to push up into the garbage disposal any. Now there's not any up on the inside of it, but when you take off this T, and they didn't. There's a baffle here, so there's no ORBEEZ up here at all. But this lateral arm here is full of them. Now this does exactly what pasta, rice, anything like that to do. And this thing is packed tight. I mean, it is literally full in here. Now they're all over the outside, which, you know what, if you got pasta or something, you're probably gonna fight with that too. But as much stuff is still here on the inside, you wanna make sure that you get all that out. And you see they're still coming out here. Now the reason is, the sink was actually full of them. So say you get one that's got a sink where there's still pasta in it because everything wouldn't go down, undo it, clean out the inside of it. And if you look and see, we've got a ton of them in here. That's a lot of ORBEEZ, but if this was pasta, if this was rice, if this was cabbage, if this was anything that somebody had shoved down the drain, it would clog it up just as bad. Now, what you want to remember is to make sure you clean everything out. If you put it back together and you've got anything in here, it's still going to possibly clog up in the future. Remember that piece that goes back into the drain in the wall? You want to shine a light, look in there and see if there's anything in there clogging it up. Last thing you want to do is go through all this, fill it up, and now it's clogged up in the wall. Now you've got to do it all again, because that's where you would stick in a sewer machine or a top sink auger, anything like that, to help clean it out. Guys, this is literally showing you what ORBEEZ can do to your system, but also what pasta, rice, anything like that really clogs up and how it clogs it up. This is something that can show you how to take care of your plumbing at home. So how long does it take to mess up your plumbing system? Not very long. Here's the deal. ORBEEZ aren't made to go down the sewer. You know that. If your kids put it down there, you see what kind of problems you're gonna have. Did you see the way that we time-lapsed that and they expanded and they kind of stayed that way? ORBEEZ only shrink back down if they get dry, if they have a place for the moisture to evaporate, things like that. Pasta, rice, cabbage, guys, these are the worst things you can put down your drain. Now we showed it to you on the side without the disposal. I have literally seen it on the side with the disposal, and it has grounded up into little bitty pieces like the ORBEEZ, but they all swell up and they get jammed in there. This is something you can fix at home, but the smartest thing is be very careful about what you put down your drain. Whether it's the side without the disposal or the side with the disposal, it can mess up your plumbing. And what I showed you is just under the sink. Imagine what would happen if somebody just kept pushing it down or trying to plunge it down and just pushed it back further in the wall. You're gonna end up possibly messing up or clogging up your entire plumbing system. At that point, you're gonna need a hydro jetter. You're gonna need a way to get in there and really clean things out. Anyway, let me know, if you're a plumber, what is the worst thing you've ever pulled out or found that clogged up somebody's sink like this, or even the arms in the wall? There's a lot of things that can clog them up. What's the worst thing you've ever found? If you're a homeowner too, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get clogged up.